Today I want to get into apparently V's scene at the hospital and what happened there. I want to get into people talking about V's recent trip on a plane, and then moments of flight crew and alleged stalkers resurfaced. And then we have idols talking about them not being okay. So hey Dumplings, it's Dave Desai. Hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on. Grab your dumplings, hey Spling Mug merch, and let's go. We have a kind of bone-chilling update going on, and I suppose it's been a few months since we had any specific life-threatening updates around the world. Of course, the Ukraine war is still going on, but maybe sometimes out of sight, out of mind is good, right? We are still dealing with a lot of the trauma that has existed within the past few years, and it's good to have a few months where we don't hear too many tragic things happening around the world, even if they still are. Unfortunately, today we had a big situation that was very life-threatening in Korea, and a lot of idols actually spoke out about it. If you have not heard, let's get into it and talk about it. North Korea and South Korea have been at a bit of a cold war for quite some time. This is different from a hot war or normal war, if you don't know, and a cold war is just tension. So they might have missiles pointed at each other instead of actually firing those missiles. This can go on for many, many years, and this is scary on a different level, because if it's an ongoing war that was happening, then at the very least, you could plan to leave and find a temporary situation somewhere else. And a lot of places will be more sympathetic to you because you're a refugee. Whereas if no war has actually broken out, you're way less likely to get any sort of sympathy from hotels, hostels, or any citizen from another city. We saw that with the Ukraine situation and how many people opened up their homes for the refugees. That's not going to happen during a Cold War situation. However, the fear that a war can break out at any time and you could just die is always going to be looming over you. And in a situation where there's a hot war and you relocate, a lot of the logistics and maybe even the visa laws are more lenient, or at least there's a program put in place for these situations, but not for a Cold War. So a Cold War is also really bad because you're just living in fear and you can't do anything. This morning on May 31st, everyone in Seoul woke up to a government text that said, a warning was issued in Seoul at 6:32 a.m. Today, citizens should prepare to evacuate and give priority to children and the elderly to evacuate first. I would probably freeze if I read that. I'd be like, is this real? Because what do you do? A lot of the people who would even be awake at 6:30 a.m. are going to be children getting ready for school. So do they go, start packing? What do they do? About a half hour later, everyone got another text that said everything was okay and that everyone should just go about their normal day. I know that the texters need to be professional, but you simply cannot say, hey, so everyone's going to die, and then switch to, never mind sis, you're good, and expect that everyone is just going to be fine now. One of the first people to speak up about this was Bam Bam in GOT7. He said that thankfully everything is okay now and that he is physically okay, but he talked about how he was not mentally okay. He says that he is worried about living day to day and scared that things like this could happen at any second. He left an emotional message to say that if anything did happen, he loves everyone. That's so sad. Many other people spoke out about their concerns, such as Park Min-soo, who is a radio host, and then a couple members from girl groups. And I think it says a lot when big celebrities are concerned about their safety. Veteran K-pop idols and groups like GOT7, Big Bang, BTS, whoever, would have a much easier time fleeing. First of all, their labels could possibly send helicopters. They also have connections and money to hire people from other countries to just go and pick them up. They won't have to deal with trains and those situations. When one train or plane fills up, they won't have to wait for the next one and then be in danger when they're waiting. And then these idols have more than enough money to simply buy another home and be okay for a little bit, and even then go back to working. So when these powerful people are concerned over their safety, it's a bit scary for the normal day-to-day people, right? I wish I had a solution, but I don't. I just wanted to talk about it. There also was a bit of a viral video surfacing among the craziness. This was a video back in 2022, but it started to be circulated again on TikTok. It was a photo that was made into a TikTok video that appeared like V was in the hospital. Given the recent announcement and just in general everyone's concern over BTS members' safety, this was believed to be V in the hospital. At least that is my assumption on what happened. Everyone was freaking out over what happened, and they obviously know that V hasn't had a haircut like that in a little bit, but there was concern on when this was and if V was actually ever in a coma, which appears to be what's going on. And then I definitely initially thought it was V, but if you do look closely, it also starts to not look like him. If you look closely at that photo, you will see that he has a chin dimple, but V actually does not. And so fear not, I don't think this was him. If he was in some sort of coma or sick at this point, where he would need a ventilator, I think this would be something he would speak about. It would be very interesting, and I'm sure it would come up in conversation. It would be a situation similar to Suga and his shoulder. I ended up doing a bit more research on it, and I found the original photo. The photo seems to just be a stock photo that looks like the former V. You can find the photo even just on Pinterest that can be used when you decide that you need an Asian-looking man in the hospital. So people can use this photo probably for situations to let people know what service their hospital provides, or for training medical staff and using it for their PowerPoint. I don't know. But in case you don't know, there are uses for these types of photos, and chances are that it's just an actor that was paid to take that photo. If this is a really famous actor and this is a K-drama, I severely apologize for not knowing it and not knowing him. But I tried to trace the photo back as much as I can, and I believe it's a stock photo. V is perfectly healthy and well. We even see him recently boarding a flight, and he is believed to be going overseas. We don't know what his schedule is and why he is going, but there have been loads of theories surrounding him going because he needs to work on his new solo stuff and album. It was very shocking to see V with his new hair color that he showed off during the airport. Summer is coming up, so if he plans on releasing music, perhaps we can expect to have a summer bop and one with blonde V. His hair is giving tropical, and I absolutely love it, but this of course does not come without drama. Every time V goes into the airport, we have a bit of drama happening. People are scared that V is going to be hurt when he goes to the airport, or people are going to harass him. Now, V had recently just landed from Paris, and he got to the airport. Some armies were able to record exactly how many people were there. You can see such a huge crowd, and you would think that V would be giving a concert or something. I can understand wanting to go to the airport and visit your idol, but you really don't even see them for more than like 2 seconds before they're gone. It's not a meet and greet, and I surely don't have all that time to go and wait there all day for him. Love you, V, but I got things to do. People were talking about some of the reporters and the photos that were being taken where he appeared at the airport again only a few days later. There was not a huge crowd there this time, and I think it was because it was so close to him just at the airport. A lot of people maybe confused it with the other trip and thought that they had already attended his airport appearance. So he just had reporters there mostly, and then of course fan sites who are usually on top of those situations. There's a specific fan site that has loads of followers, and they always manage to get very awesome photos and videos of V. The fan site is called Luna V, and the fan site is very controversial to a lot of people outside of this fan site because people keep calling this fan site a sasai. I think this is so stupid. There's been a lot of really cool photos, and you can see V posing and being happy with the fan site owner taking the photo. There's been mixed opinions on why V seems happy. People keep saying that V is only happy because he is happy by nature and would never cuss someone out in public, so he's pretending to be happy when he sees the fan site owner rather than actually really enjoying the attention. To which I have to say, do you think the boys are shy lately about calling out people who they don't like? Jungkook has done it, V has done it in the past. They will literally call out people they don't like. So don't think that if they don't like someone, they would just pose for them. They are aware a pose is not just being polite like what you may think you're doing when you agree to take a picture with your racist relatives. For celebrities, posing a photo is a stamp of approval. There was also another incident where a flight attendant had acknowledged V and was a fan of V. She talked about how much she loved him and how kind V was to her during the whole process when he served him from the lounge and everything. She shared everything on social media and everyone was touched. There was some controversy here too. This was an older moment and not related to the recent flight, but people were saying moments like this happen too often and that V is actually in danger. I don't know in danger of what exactly, but the FA made sure to talk about how V turned down an autograph and then settling for shaking her hand and speaking to her nicely. The FA was fine by this and still very happy, but some people are upset that V would even turn down an autograph, photo, or whatever. And this comes from a lot of entitlement. People believe, well, I made them who they are, so they need to do do what I say. I hate this thought, I really do. You support the idol and love them because that was your decision. You like the art, and let's not be delusional here. If you didn't get any value from the art, you would not have wanted their autograph to begin with. Their quote-unquote gift of an autograph given to you is their art. That's their obligation, and they have a reason to not give you autographs and photos. The art is the only thing that they are obligated to give you in exchange for your support and money. But V is still very extremely nice and still chooses to spend a moment talking to the FA and acknowledging her. That's enough and plenty. People were saying that the FA was leaking private moments and harassing V, which would cause V to leave quickly over safety. And I don't think that had happened or would ever happen. Most real flight crew that have actually ever interacted with V or BTS have had positive things to say and are happy that they got the chance to serve the members. And the members would choose to opt for no service, I am sure, if every time they boarded a flight, the crew was disrespectful, invading their space, or leaking private moments. Let me know what you think. Make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks for this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.